Hi, Chi. This is going to be a video tutorial or kind of critique on your video tutorial. So I'm just going to play this and then kind of talk over top of it. So hopefully it's going to be helpful. I think you did a good job. I'd like to try cooking it. So that was good. I thought the font, the opening font, was kind of fun. I like the idea that you had the end product here off the start, so that we knew what we were going to make, instead of just because I'm not familiar with steamed rolls, and but I'm going to have to make some now. But at least you gave me an idea of what it was going to look like. It's a nice composition. I think maybe you could even zoomed in a little bit more even than this, because we've got a lot of room up at the top that we could have focused in on this a little bit more. But like I said, you did a really good job. I'm just going to maybe make some other, just some small suggestions here along the way. I did want to mention that the font there at the beginning of the title, I liked it, but you didn't repeat it anywhere else. So I'm not sure if there's a way that you could do that, maybe in the ending credits, maybe not. So I don't think that's a big deal either. So let's go on here.
Today,
this is nice. Got a little bit of camera movement here. It'd been nice if it was locked down and be on a tripod, and I think it is here. Really like the idea how you sped things up and kind of time lapse, so you're not going to waste my time as a viewer, but you're you can see everything and see the whole process. So that was a good use of your time, as speeding things up. The one thing, and I have, we have some recipe books at home that I think were probably originally published in the United Kingdom, but typically we're going to use cups instead of pounds, which is not a big deal. But you measured your flour in pounds and you measured your water in pounds. Definitely, usually in America, we're using a volume rather than a weight of water. And I know bread is a little different, and weighing it is probably the most popular. So you might want to just put an equivalent, what it would be if you were just using it in volume, like cups or half cups. So you may want to try that. But this is nice.
the east
Let's see.
and the floor, sorry.
The one thing coming up here is, you've said 2 pounds of warm water, the same 2 pounds of flour. The one thing that's difficult is coming up here is the salt, especially since salt is so powerful that and so strong that you want to make sure that we're not getting too much of that in. Whereas as if you get a little bit too much flour, it's probably not going to make that much difference, or water, but the salt will. So you may want to maybe put a little measurement, or put it in your hand, and then we can see exactly how much is there. Nice quiet music here, but I think you made a transition with music that's maybe not the same kind of feel. So this is kind of real soft and melodic, and then the other one is just kind of a different style altogether. So I'm not sure if that really, we've been talking about repetition in graphics, but I would say probably repetition in terms of style of music would be good as well. Let's see. I think one of the biggest things that I think you need to think of when we're doing this, here comes the salt part, that it's difficult to see how much there is, at least on my monitor. I can kind of see a blur coming down here, but I don't know if that's a teaspoon, a tablespoon, or what. So I would make that. I really like the subtitles here. I think that's good, and we can pause it and you can read it. And so if someone multicultural, multi-nationality can understand that pretty well. The one thing though that I started to mention that I think is probably one of the most important things is what are the problems that the user might run into. Is it I don't know. I don't know what those are necessarily until I actually make it, and then I might have a problem. I say, oh, put up too much. If your product turns out this way, maybe it's because you had too much flour, or if your product turns out this way, it may be because you had too much water. So in any kind of instructional video, you want to make sure that you're kind of thinking about what are at least some of the common problems. And I understand that you're not going to be able to do every scenario and every problem, but I think that you could kind of foresee some of the issues that you might have. And I know you have to make some assumptions too. So you make some assumptions that when you put this extra flour on there, that it's flour. I know that. But think about those kind of problems, especially when you go to cook it. So how do I know when it's completely done? You said about 5 minutes, but is it crispy? Is it going to be crispy on the outside? Is it going to be soft on the outside? Things like that. So you will know some of the problems, and so I encourage you, whatever it may be that you're making a tutorial for, if you're helping some other professor put some sort of sequence online, that you try it yourself and then really note what were the problems when you were doing it. That way you can note it in your video as well. Let's see.
Put all the rows in the ink pad.
I think well, the one thing though also is the voice, your audio voice is really competing with the background music. So you need to lower the background music and increase your voice so that it's not conflicting that way. Let's see. See right here, I guess I would like to see maybe a little bit more of a description on what does it feel like, and I can't really tell that from the image whether it's crispy or whether it's soft, and I would assume it's pretty soft because it's steamed. But you might also, just for fun, maybe give, in this case, and it probably wouldn't be true in all cases, but some background information. What culture does this come from? What can it be used with? What kind of a dish? Is this an appetizer, or is this a dessert, or is this something to be served with a main meal? And what are some good things to complement it? So it gives it just a little bit more of a context. So the context is important. So not so much in yours, but in others, especially when you're relating with technology. So we've had some in the class that have done things with computers or software. You always want to give it context and tell them maybe when this was made. So if it's a computer, well, this is a 2016 model, so that when the user comes and watches this video, that they're not going to be looking at something that's already 10 years old and doesn't have any applicability to them. In this case, this is more timeless, and you don't have to give a time frame, but I think maybe some context of how can this be used as well would be good. Again, I think maybe right here you could probably zoom in a little bit closer. The lighting's pretty good, but I think maybe just a little closer, I think it show me the texture of the rolls a little bit better. So overall, this is really nice. I really think you thought things through. I really like the idea that you put the subtitles in, and just nice shots, nice kind of slow pace where it's easy to follow. So good job.